today I am making something completely out of my comfort zone. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kira if you are new, and today I am completely stepping out of my comfort zone and making something I have never made before. So today is my adopted daughter's birthday, and I wanted to put together something for her that I knew she would absolutely love, and one of her favorite things is tres leches, and she said, I wonder if they make a strawberry tres leches. I would love that for my birthday. So behind the scenes, I've been putting this together for her. So her name is Izzy, and I met her at work at my previous job, and we just hit it off. We've known each other now for over 3 years, and we've just grown this incredible connection. She calls me mom. I literally love her like a daughter, and she spends every holiday here with us. Her and my oldest are only 18 days apart, and the two of them are inseparable. They call each other brother and sister, and it's like having a set of twins, to be honest. And I love her and I adore her, and I'm really excited to do this for her today. So I'm gonna take you down to the counter and we are going to make a strawberry tres leches. So wish me luck, because like I said, this is completely new for me. So let's see how we can turn this around. All right, you guys, so here are the ingredients you're gonna need to make this strawberry tres leches cake. And I actually got all these ingredients and I compiled them all together right in this really cool app that I found. It's called Recime. I found it on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I've been obsessed. Like, I can't stop talking about it. My family is tired of hearing me with this stupid Recime app, but it's because it is so amazing that I can't help but talk about it. And so this app pretty much lets you take any recipe that you can find, whether it be on Pinterest, while you're scrolling on Facebook, like a photo that you've seen, a link that you've seen, and you can port it into the app, and then you can either just keep it on the app in a generic spot, or you can put it here in a cookbook. And so I went on Pinterest and I went ahead and found this strawberry tres leches cake, and then I ported it into the app, and it went ahead and put the photo there, and then it even gave me the link to the website, so I can click right onto the website and it'll bring me to the original website where this cake came from. It tells me how many servings, and then gives me all the ingredients that I needed, which I thought was amazing. Your method, your whole deal, all of it they ported from that recipe that I found on Pinterest. But the coolest part is that when I wanted to order it, I just hit grocery and it put all of the items, and I could check what I already had at home and didn't need, but then what I did need, I can just go ahead and add all of these items to a grocery list. So you can see, if you look here, let me X out of that. So if you look on this grocery list, you can see I already have it. So it always says fresh strawberries. This was orange juice. I added that myself. Heavy whipping cream, the strawberry cake mix, the evaporated milk, and the sweetened condensed milk. Those were the things from the recipe that I needed. And so I was able to put it right on a grocery list, and then you can see you even can make a meal plan. I found a pancake sausage casserole, and I went ahead and put it right there on the meal plan. Like, I just think this thing is so cool. I can't stop talking about it. I want to be able to show you guys. I'll link it in the description box, or you can go ahead and check on the App Store for yourself. But this was so worth the download to me that I can find myself using it all the time. I'm gonna meal plan with it and all of the things. And so it made pulling this recipe together super, super easy. So here are the ingredients that I need. I needed a box of the strawberry cake mix. I have 1 cup of water. I need some vanilla, 1 cup of whole milk, 1 stick of butter that we're going to melt. We need a pound of strawberries, 3 eggs. We need a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. We need 1 sweetened condensed milk, 1 can of evaporated milk. We're gonna use some heavy whipping cream and some granulated sugar. So this, you guys, is a few step process. This is gonna be like we're gonna make the cake, we're gonna add that tres leches, and then we're gonna let it sit overnight, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna decorate this for Izzy. But for right now, let's go ahead and get the cake mix in the oven. I have the the oven preheating to 350 degrees. I have our glass baking dish here, a 9x13, which I am just gonna spray down with some cooking spray. And we're gonna start off first by making our cake mix. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first things first, butter needs to be melted. Melted butter, and then in goes our dry cake mix. All right, now we're adding our cup of water and 3 eggs. Now we mix. All right, you guys, that is all set and mixed. I used a spatula and went around the edges to get any loose cake mix. And then now we're just gonna go ahead and put it in here. I'm gonna grease this with some cooking spray, and then we'll pour it in and get it into the oven. Anybody know the best part of baking? Getting the opportunity to lick the spoon. All right, you guys, say goodbye to her. You'll see her in 35 to 40 minutes. She's a beaut, Clark. Absolutely beautiful. All right, we need to let this completely cool. Like probably for a good hour, maybe hour and a half. And then we're gonna poke holes in it and we're gonna make our tres leches mixture that we're gonna pour over the top before we refrigerate for the night. But for now, she's got to get good and cool before the next step. So let's let her chill. All right, you guys. So this cake is cool and ready to go. And now the object is to poke holes in it so that this tres leches covering, creamy yumminess that we're about to make is going to seep into all of those holes. So we're just going to take the knife now and we're just going to go along and we're going to put the knife in and just do a little turn, just a little turn there, little turn. All right, so we got our cooled cake and then we already went along everywhere that we could and we just poked holes for this mixture to sink in. All right, now we're gonna make that mixture. So we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna go grab that cup of milk from the refrigerator because I put that in there. And we're gonna mix the 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, the 1 can of evaporated milk, and then the 1 cup of whole milk. Hence the tres leches, the 3 milks for that filling. So let's go ahead and whisk all that together and then we'll pour that over the top. All right, you guys, I got a bowl here and I opened up all of our cans. So let's dump in that can of evaporated milk. Let's dump in that cup of whole milk. And then let's dump in, not as easy, to dump in that can of sweetened condensed milk. Ooh-wee, that's what's gonna give us that sweetness. Oh my. I use that knife that we used to poke holes and scrape the inside of my can so that we got all that goodness out of there. And now we whisk. All right, we are mixed with our mixture, all blended and whisked up. And then we got our cake full of holes. So I got the bowl with the pour spout so that we can go ahead now and pour this on to the cake. I never really understood the hype of a tres leches, although I recently just had one for a friend's birthday and I found it quite enjoyable. But the wet cake concept always kind of freaked me out, but it is yummy. I'm curious how the strawberry one is going to taste. I feel like that's gonna add a whole nother flavor element to it. The one that we had was just a regular one. And so now what the directions say is that even if this is like sitting on top, we're gonna put this in the fridge now overnight. So they said preferably 24 hours. I don't have 24 hours before I have to serve this, but they said as long as it sits and chills overnight, the cake is gonna go ahead and absorb all of that juice and yumminess into those holes and into the sponginess of the cake. So when we pull this out of the fridge tomorrow, all of that should be sucked in and we should just have what looks like our strawberry cake again, kind of really moist now and filled with that sweetness. We're gonna make a homemade whipped cream and we're gonna top it, and then we're gonna top it with strawberries. Now our strawberries have to sit and gel overnight, so we're gonna set that up as well to sit with this. So for now, let's take this out of the way and into the fridge. Got to take out my trusty 50 Shades of Mom cutting board. It's been quite some time since I broke this baby out. All right, I have a pound of strawberries here. So I'm just gonna slice these really quickly, removing the toppers and just slicing these babies up. And then we're gonna throw them in this bowl and add that sugar so that they gel overnight. Ooh-wee, you can tell it is strawberry season. Those strawberries are so ripe and so delicious. And if I don't put sugar on these and get them in the fridge, I'm gonna eat them all. So we need to go ahead and take just 2 tablespoons of sugar and dump these in. And then we're just gonna mix it around and put this in the fridge with our cake. But sugar is gonna draw all of the juice out, and it's gonna make a really yummy flavor and topping for the cake. All right, in the fridge. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, friends, she is out of the refrigerator and absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and set her aside. You can tell that all the milk has absorbed into the cake. So let's go ahead and put this aside and let's start working on the topping. All right, you guys, so to make this a little bit easier, I went ahead and stuck our heavy whipping cream in the freezer for just a little bit, like about 30 minutes. It's not frozen, but it's good and cold. And the purpose of that is the colder that it is, the easier that it is to peak. So we're gonna go ahead and add our heavy whipping cream. All right, so it calls for 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Oh yeah, it's got a little extra thickness to it because it's good and cold. So that is perfect, because the colder like it is, like I said, the easier it is to make some stiff peaks. So that is in there. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla and 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. All right, we got our 1/4 cup of powdered sugar in there. And now our teaspoon of vanilla. All right, now we're going to start at a low speed. This takes a little bit of time if you're gonna use a hand mixer. I would have used my stand mixer, but we are moving, and so everything is being packed away and I don't have that out right now. So I am gonna use my hand mixer. If you have to use a hand mixer, you're gonna start at a low speed. Even if you're in your stand mixer, the lower the speed, the better. You're just gonna start it going, and then you're gonna increase the speed as it starts to thicken. And then once it starts to peak and fluff up like regular whipped cream, you'll know once that happens, then we're done. So let's go ahead and start whipping. All right, friends, so you can tell now that we're like almost at pudding consistency, not whipped cream, but pudding. So now that it's starting to like coat the blades of the mixer, now we're gonna increase the speed so that we can get it to that really fluffy whipped cream consistency. All right, there we go. And you don't ever want to overdo it, because then it's gonna get stiff and it's almost gonna turn into a form of butter. I mean, we're not using butter, but this is still a form of like a butter. Once you start getting it too thick, it's gonna create that. So you just wanna keep it light and fluffy where we're at. So let's go ahead now and put this onto the cake. All right, sliding old baby in there. She looks so cute, so cute. All right, got a spatula now. I just took what was on the blades and just kind of whoosh, whoosh. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got it all over the side of my refrigerator and I made a mess. But hey, we used everything that was on the blades. We waste not, want not, okay? So that's our whipped cream, yeah, buddy. Look at that, baby, yeah. Izzy's gonna love this. I'm very excited for that. She's definitely one of those people who appreciate the little things. So I made her some of that elote dip mixture that I used at Pizza Expo on my pizza. I got the mixture, the little corn salsa that I used to make it when I was at Trader Joe's. And so I got her that and the little elote corn chips. And I got her some pickle seasoning from Trader Joe's. So I know she'll like that. And then she asked for pea terries, so I'm gonna bring her pea terries for dinner. And she's gonna get her cake, and then I got her a couple of little presents. So it should be a fun little party at work today. If you're following on Instagram, then you probably would have seen, because I'm definitely gonna share footage of Miss Missy eating her cake. Especially since it's tradition in our family to put whipped cream on noses for good luck. So I will gladly, with honor, put whipped cream on that little girl's nose. But she's not a little girl anymore. She's gonna be 21 tomorrow. All right. The camera lighting hates that, although I am at full max of lighting in my house. I really should reinvest in lighting again. However, all the lighting that I had, I gave to my old boss because I swore I would never need it. I still know the code to her house, so I might just sneak in and get it, but you didn't hear me say that. Yeah. All right, look, we got our strawberries. How's the lighting on that guy? So you see all that juice and numminess. We'll pour the juice over the top, but for now, we're just gonna take those layered strawberries and we're gonna go ahead and just go around this cake and decorate it, make it look pretty. It's okay if the juice is kind of drizzled on there and messy, because we're actually gonna drizzle that over the top anyways. That juice is really sweet from the strawberries and the sugar. So it's gonna pair perfectly with our strawberry tres leches. You guys, she's beautiful. Look at that, you guys. That came out amazing. And it was so much easier than I thought. I definitely felt a little intimidated for the moment when I first started this project that this might not be something that I can accomplish, because I'm not a baker. I'm more of a cook by trade. I don't really bake as well, but this was pretty simple, especially since we just used a box mix and then poked some holes in it and threw some milks over the top and made some whipped cream. Like, we are golden, you guys. I think Izzy is going to absolutely love that. All right, you guys, we did it. And I think Izzy is going to absolutely love it. I'm gonna bring it to her about 5 o'clock today. I am so excited. I can't wait to see her face when she gets it, and I can't wait to see her face when she tastes it, because it looks delicious. So stay tuned. I hope you're following me on social media so I can share with you guys how it came out. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check that description box for the link for Recime. Otherwise, you guys can just go onto the App Store like I did to download it, but you're not going to want to miss out on this app. I'm obsessed, you guys. I can't stop talking about it. I feel like I'm going to talk about it every opportunity that I get until everybody feels me and jumps on the bandwagon, because I'm obsessed. And it made baking this cake super easy and completely easy to follow along with. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.